Well, if you think about it, restaurants serve just about any kind of food. So you will see cereal, individual cereal packages like you might get at a breakfast buffet. So they could buy cereal. They can buy eggs. They could buy butter because butter comes in sticks, milk, loaves of bread. Believe it or not, bread comes to restaurants in loaves, individually wrapped. It just doesn't have a label on it. So paper towels, toilet paper, disinfectant. I had a contact from the Nebraska Education Association, the home health care providers said, since restaurants don't have to disinfect as much anymore, can they sell us their disinfectant? And I said, oh, actually, they're disinfecting more. They're not disinfecting their dining rooms because nobody's in them, but they're disinfecting more. So I referred her to our suppliers. But so all those types of things. Basically, if you eat it in a restaurant, they have fresh produce. They have potatoes. You know, basically, and it's going to be up to the individual restaurant as to how much, you know, what they want to offer. I know that Cisco has come up with an actual plan of, you know, here's what we can provide as a package. And so you could have that type of situation as well. But you could certainly go through the drive-through and say, you know, with my order, I need 2 rolls of toilet paper, and that could be added to your order. So it's just up to the restaurant. Yes?
I had a similar question. How do you prevent, you know, you've seen price gouging all across the board for certain companies. In terms of these restaurants, how are you going to regulate pricing when they're getting their product in and making sure that there's no over retail?
So the question is, how are we going to prevent restaurants from price gouging? I think first of all, you need to look at the hearts and business practices of restaurants already. They're the ones that have been leaders in their communities for giving back to the communities. The Knudsen family, for example, in Lincoln for 37 years has done a Easter dinner for all of Lincoln. You didn't have to have a qualifying event, you just came. And this year they couldn't do it, so they fed Matt Halbert Kitchen instead. Raising Cane's does a coat drive every Christmas. They don't need to do that, but they do it to give back to the community. And what do you get if you bring in a coat? Well, you get free food from them. Don and Millie's restaurant here in Lincoln, it's probably been 3 weeks ago. You'll have to excuse me, I've lost track of time, but they did a fundraiser during, you know, when they were basically just doing takeout, and they did a fundraiser. So I don't think you have to worry about Nebraska restaurants price gouging anybody. And certainly, that's just not who they are. That's just not who they are.
How soon could they start doing this?
Well, they're just hearing about this now because,
Repeat the question.
oh, she wanted to know how soon, I'm sorry, thank you. How soon can they start doing this? The restaurants just heard about this now. I did not convey this to restaurant owners ahead of making sure that we had everything done. So I'm sure my evening is going to be filled with questions, and we're also going to be sending out the order from the Department of Ag to all our members. So it's just a matter of, the suppliers have the items, and it's just a matter of getting them ordered and getting them to the restaurants. So it'll be individual restaurants, and I'm sure as you saw them change how they did business March 16th. And then again, you know, when we went to no dining room service, you'll see that they'll be out pretty quickly with what they're going to offer in each restaurant. Yes, sir.
So what is the process? Would it be someone calls a restaurant and says, hey, here's my order, can you total that for me, then I come pick it up? Or what will that look like for people?
So the question is, what will this look like? Could somebody call and say, you know, this is my order, can you total that up for me, and then I'll come pick it up? Yes. Exactly. Just like you would if you've done any carryout, which I'm hoping you have, you call and
Tuesday.
Yep, it's Takeout Tuesday, and so you call and you say, "This is my order," and they always say, "This is your total, and this is when it'll be ready." So it would be the same thing, exactly.
Have you heard from restaurants who are worried that with all this they might not be able to reopen, and do you think that this could help them hang on?
The latest numbers we have is that...
Question?
Thank you. I keep forgetting that. So have we heard, are we afraid that restaurants who have closed, or have I heard from restaurants that have closed that this might help them reopen and hang on? Right now, anything will happen, can happen. Our National Association did a survey between March 1st and the 22nd of March, where we knew that 3% of the restaurants in Nebraska had closed permanently. Some had closed temporarily. And the expectation was that about 6% were going to close. Today I heard a forecast that 25% of small businesses may close. Don't know what that's going to look like. This is all moving so fast. But this is certainly a way for specifically just another revenue stream, another way to get our staff back to work, and also for those really rural areas. Before this gig, I was the director of the Blue Rivers Area Agency on Aging, which serves 8 of the most rural counties in Nebraska. And many of them don't have grocery stores. There are very few grocery stores. So this is certainly a way for those communities to also get access to food. And like I said, I'm from the great middle part of the state, and same thing goes there. We're very rural. So it's just a way for people for consumers to get what they need, to give some relief to the grocery workers, and then to bring product and workers back to the restaurants.
Would you advise people to call the restaurant first?
The question is, would I advise people to call the restaurant first? Absolutely. And I'm sure that your local restaurant will be putting out, if you follow them on their social media page, they'll be putting out what they have, much like they do their menus. And again, if they communicate that with us, we'll be putting that out on our Facebook page as well, you know, what's available. I'm sorry. Go
I was
ahead.
just going to say real quick, in regards to, we had some questions yesterday, I believe, about milk dumping. Is this going to maybe benefit? Are you going to see some dairy farms able to help in terms of packaging and getting to shelves for that as well, or is that not something involved for this?
The question is, will this help with the milk dumping? It's my understanding from the milk dumping aspect is that there aren't containers available to put the milk in. It's not that there isn't a demand for dairy. There's still a demand for dairy. There aren't plastic jugs. So that's my understanding of where that problem is. But certainly we have that supply. And you know, if you look at our big food suppliers, they have their own trucks. They have their own truck drivers. So they have their own supply chain to get, you know, product in. I couldn't speak for the dairy, but that was my understanding that the problem was that they didn't have the containers to put the milk in. Yes.
You said this will relieve the grocery workers, but have you talked with the Grocery Association, and are they actually supportive of this?
The question is, have I spoken with the Nebraska Grocers Association, and are they supportive of this? My office is co-located with the Nebraska Grocers Association and the Nebraska Retail Association. Kathy Sifkin's office is completely next door to mine. Literally, we see each other, well, before this and I started working from home, we saw each other every day. So yes, the governor spoke to Kathy as well, and they are very supportive of this.
Steve, did you want to say anything about the dairy? Do you have anything to add to the dairy?